So good morning, everyone. Welcome to our beautiful Monday morning Global Heart Resonance in a time that where this state of presence, a state and practice of restoration and really feeling deeper into that ethos of wholeness and this whole world view is so vital. And so we welcome everyone, and those of you that are new and those of us that have been on for a while, just into this beautiful field, this field of coherence and a field of conscious connection. And we know that this is one of the most important things that is really, people are longing for this type of connection, being in what we're describing as this resonant field, this field of the heart, this unified frequency, which here we call the home frequency, this place where we really embody and express and experience this state of innate wholeness, this state of innate connection. So as we're here, coming here today, we're just holding that for the whole planet, our families that we might be socially distanced from or physically distanced from, our communities, but so beautifully the world has taken on this experience of connection in such a beautiful way. And so this morning we're here as stewards of the good of the whole to intentionally build this field of coherence and really be in service of a greater whole and be listening as we're nurtured, revitalized, and restored as a collective consciousness. So welcome everyone. And really this good of the whole is just this beautiful community of individuals that are holding this frequency, this home frequency. So we always open up with a heart resonance. Yes, it's a centering, but it's also in the invitation to open to this vibrational presencing where we are fully informed by the field itself. And then we're expressing that. And so we'll begin with John, who's going to open with a resonance, and I'll come back in for a couple of minutes before Nahid, so beautifully, who's offered us this reflection to share. Thanks. I pass it over to you, John.
Thank you, Shelley. Good morning, everyone. So, if you will, if you choose, just close your eyes for a moment or keep them open, whatever is comfortable for you. And take a nice deep breath. Just feeling that breath fill your body. And the exhale. As you breathe again, feel every cell in your body being bathed, nurtured, and fed by this great mystery of life. Breathe in and feel any place inside that may be tight or some resistance, and just relax. Becoming aware that all of us are breathing that same life-giving energy. We're not alone. At the very deepest level, we are all one. Allow your body, the temple, holding this resonant field, to come alive, to be informed of the love that's available. And at the bottom of a breath, just pause for a moment before your next breath. becoming aware of the everything and nothing simultaneously. Allowing yourself to step into union with everyone on this call, every friend or family member in your closest group, and knowing right now with this situation we are experiencing in the world, allow the love in your heart to vibrate out to every sentient being on the planet. Knowing that the love coming to us is shared by everyone, as we're being informed of the appropriate next step in the evolution of our planet and every being and every living thing. Let us hold each other in the highest regard. And just take a moment to allow the vibration of love nurture you, holding your being in your heart, and receive the love that is your birthright, so that you may share that for the good of the whole. So be it.
Thank you, John, and welcome all of you who joined us. And I was just reminded of, we used to call this call to this call we call now the call to wholeness, but we used to call it coming to the oasis, being at that oasis of love, and just listening to that reflection, that resonance, reminded me of what it felt like, just how this call got birthed, and just that invitation to feel ourselves together in that experience of this vibrational oasis where we do get revitalized and nurtured and have so much more to give to others. So collectively, so really beautifully, thank you so much, John. And so for those of you that are new, the way this call works is just a few guidelines. And this is a participatory practice. And this practice of what we're calling heart resonance, it's a natural flow where everyone gets to participate and really feel that experience of being informed by the field. So this, Barbara Marx Hubbard used to call it this evolutionary impulse that gets ignited when we're in this collective consciousness together. So just simply, when you feel that impulse, speaking 1 to 2 minutes in present time, really from your direct experience, sharing a seed or seeds of inspiration and bottom line insight. And as an example, something like, what am I present to in this moment? As we're listening, consciously listening to what is evolving in the field itself. So it's less about the individuals that are speaking, but it's more about how that the field is reorganizing that consciousness to feed us even solutions that we might not have thought of. So we're consciously listening to what's evolving, and we're tracking these golden threads of information through each one of us. And most importantly, in this practice of building coherence, the invitation is to shift from edifying one individual's share, because we know when we focus on one individual, all of a sudden the energy from the group goes right in a focal point to that person. But what we're inviting here is to allow the continuation of that energy to cohere, and this tangible experience of feeling connected as a whole living presence begins to expand itself. And we feel that it's really this beautiful, elevating experience. And then we love here to acknowledge the pause, as John was saying. When we take that breath at the bottom or the top of our breath, we become consciously aware of the pause, and that's simply to allow this deeper integration into the experience that's happening here as a collective. And when you're complete, just simply say your name, and you can say I'm whole, or I'm not complete, but I'm whole, whatever it is, just acknowledging that you're complete. And with that, I'm going to pass this virtual talking stick to Nahid, who so beautifully is opening our call today with our resonant reflection, Die Before Dying. So pass that to you, Nahid. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I thought at this time that the God of destruction, dismantling and collapsing, is active. Maybe it has something to do with us as well. So a poem of Rumi wanted to express itself, and I would like to read the first couple of lines in the original language. بمیرید بمیرید در این عشق بمیرید در این عشق چو مردید همه روح پذیرید بمیرید بمیرید از این مرگ نترسید کز این خاک برآیید سماوات بگیرید. Inside this new love, die. Your way begins on the other side. Become this God. Take an axe to the prison wall. Escape. Walk out like someone suddenly born into color. Do it now. You are covered with thick cloud. Slide out the side, die, and be quiet. Quietness is the surest sign that you have died. Your old life was a frantic, running from silence. The speechless full moon comes out now. The sun is love. The lover is speck circling the sun. A spring wind moves to dance any branch that isn't dead. The question for us is, what do you want to die to or let go within your being and from within your own heart? What do you want to fill this new heart space with? How would you describe yourself being in the embodiment of this new heart-filled space? Claim it. It is so. I am this new embodiment. And I am whole and complete.
Hello, I'm Jess from Wales, and I've got my talking crystal. What I want to die is love as an attachment. Because I was thinking about the different types of love in the middle of the night, and although there's a part of us that is naturally attached to our very nearest and dearest family and friends, I want to have an awareness all the time of the interconnection of oneness. I want an awareness of the attachment, even if the attachment doesn't die. I want to be born into a beautiful love of joy and compassion and connection and awe and interconnectedness. I am complete.
Well, I guess Kate in South Dakota is going to pick up the thread there on the different types of love that had you awake. You know, for a few years now, I've been joining with an elder by the name of Don Pett and his family on Sunday mornings on a Zoom format. And so you know, he likes to break down the different types of love. And also being a student initially with Shelley, as a matter of fact, under Barbara, you know, talks about how we become universal, homo universalis amore. And yesterday, I believe some of the words Don used were that the tribal language that the tribal love that has created the language that we are so accustomed to is what has kind of kept us down. But interestingly enough, this grand awakening, if you will, has caused us all to kind of see the interconnection and how our flags and our boundary lines are not, you know, as much as we thought they were. So I just feel like this embodiment spoken of, which thank you when you speak in Farsi. I'm always fascinated by that language. And that the embodiment of this love, we're an example of what it means to be this universalis love. And I got to tell you, you know, I know it's not, we can't point anybody out, but to know that my sister isn't in China, you've been in my thoughts last night. So I guess since we're speaking kind of about dream time, it's just wonderful to see you all happy and healthy and coming to us from these wonderful I loved what we did last week. Shelley wasn't here, so the Yum concert became our, yeah, I think Sharon started the hands. Anyway, I'm just kind of practicing. So, loving you all and passing that Kristen talking.
This is Shelley, and I just feel like I want to follow that thread of talking about boundary lines. You know, as I was deepening into the resonance, I started to see the ocean, and yesterday was World Water Day. And, you know, we are all one water. And when I was listening to the resonance and following this thread forward, I started to see just the where the shoreline meets the water, and when those waves start to come up as the tide starts to rise, there's no more boundary. The water just comes across, and everything merges together. And I feel like that's what's happening. That this experience that we're all having is this opportunity to begin to experience ourselves as one being. You know, this relationship with this tidal flow, or, you know, how the sun's presence, that solar presence, which we really are. So we are the sun, and we are the water, and we are this experience of this tidal flow of energy. And I feel like we're being woken up to, you know, how do we respond? How does, you know, what would love do in every situation? How would that water, that liquidity that we truly are, how does it respond, you know, when we're in enclosed circumstances, you know, homes, or, you know, with family members 24/7, or whatever that is. And I feel like this is just beginning to tap into, like, right here, this experience that, as everyone shares this, we are that tidal flow, that expression is the waters of love that saturate our being, and we become more of who we are because of it. And so I'm just feeling incredibly grateful in this moment, as we deepen into these waters here today. So I put the virtual talking stick in the center. Thank you. I'm complete and whole.
This is Sharon in New Jersey, and I feel like the talking stick has bobbed across the water, and I'm going to pick it up. And continuing that flow in the quiet of our meditation together. It's raining here, so I'm hearing the rain, and it's this beautiful rainfall, and the birds are chirping away. And so what I would want to die to, and I love the poem, thank you, Nahid, is ignorance, and awaken to knowledge and connection. It's the knowledge of connection. And it's I'm reading this beautiful book, Braided Sweetgrass, just so good, so good. And she talks about the native understanding of that we are a cult, that everything is reciprocal in nature. Everything that plays its part and is reciprocal and feeds and nurtures everything else in a healthy ecosystem. And that we have a role to play in that too. We're part of that. We forget. And, you know, we live in more of an artificial world and not so in the natural world. And so I'm hoping this situation we find ourselves in, certainly for some of us, it's enabling us to even go slower and be more quiet and have more time to understand and connect. And like for me, I got my hands in the dirt this week and planted some pansies. and just having more awareness of the nature around me and the people around me. I was tech support on how to do Zoom calls for our Unitarian church yesterday. They did their whole service online. They had 155 people show up on Zoom, and it went really smoothly. It was beautiful. They videoed all the music. So they had everything, and people really appreciate that. And are, to connect in and know that we can gather in this way, so that we're taking this connection in to different levels and in different ways through our technology. So I want to continually just let the falseness fade, go away, and anything that's not real, and let the realness and the connection be the most important thing. I am complete, and I shall bob the talking stick to whoever wants to pick it up.
Hey, it's Kelsey in Minnesota. I have my video off today, so you just have to listen to my voice. If you want, you can close your eyes. Give your eyes a little break. There's a lot of sensory awareness stuff right now, or I should say sensory stimulation with just all the news, and I feel like our online presence has increased, and for me it's been like overstimulation of my eyes and my ears. So if you want, you can close your eyes. And I picked up that bob actually floating in the water too. And I don't know if it was what Shelley said, but I was thinking about, what love calls us to do. And I was thinking about the elements in nature. And if you think about the wind is told to go somewhere and it doesn't question its job, right? It just blows. And the wind blows the water, and the water moves in response to the wind, right? And that doesn't question it either. It can even capsize. Even if a boat is on its limbs, it will still capsize the boat. And that might look to us as humans like total destruction, but to nature, it had to move that way. And so I'm just thinking about that as this like pathogen is in our air. It's being moved through droplets, right? It may look like complete destruction to our human mind, but it could be from what love is being called to do. It's in response to love. And so that's what I'm asking for death from, is just my human understanding, and like understanding that the abundance of love, or the not understanding, I guess, of how abundant love is and how mysterious love acts in these ways that to me might feel so wrong. So just trusting that this all comes from love, and that we are all, we share those elements. We share the fire element. When I'm lighting a candle in my physical space, that's the same fire element that's being lit in your physical space, even though we're not together in our physical rooms. And same with the air that we breathe and breathe out, and same with the water element within us, and that we can see out our windows, or even in our faucets, or when you're outside in nature. And same with the earth element, just knowing that we are all made up of the earth element in our bones, our hair, our skin, our nails, and the earth that is supporting us each and every day. And then that container, the space, the ether, or acacia, if you will, that gives a container to all these elements and our movements, allowing the wind to move the water. And so with that, I put the bobber back in the water and let it do what it will, and allowing it to respond to love as we all are today on this call. Thank you.
I would like to pick up the floating stick what I would love to die to is to my knowing. To what my knowing knows it is pain and painful, and I don't want it. I want to die to my wanting and don't wanting, and allow what is flowing, even if it is the pain, to open me up. And knowing that we are in danger, not knowing that love has so many forms, and this is what is happening, is our collective awakening that we have been waiting for. I would love to fill it up with compassionate loving. That is, I am feeling, and is happening in the world. To become the shape shifter from that compassionate place for another that is in front of me, or others, or my creation. To become the awareness that is flowing in me and receiving, feeling what is true for me in that moment. I let the talking stick to flow in the water.
Good morning, everyone. This is John in Boulder. Oh, so I just spent a moment experiencing my own death and all of the feelings and the emotion and the attachments I have surrounding that. It reminds me of Carl Whitaker, one of my favorite when I was a psychotherapist doing psyche type things. He had this beautiful quote that said, "Practice dying and practice often." And what I feel now when I think of what I want to die or what I'm willing to allow to die in me, I changed that language for myself. I no longer hold a separation or a differentiation between life and death. I sense it as an amazing transformation of the energy that I've held in this thing I call life, and surrender that to what I've known as death. And all of a sudden it becomes this brilliant light of transforming life to a higher vibrational life. And I trust that. So what do I want to die? As I look into my outer world and I see the separation and the differentiations that I've held in a belief system as this is good and this is bad, everywhere from all the news around the political structure and even the coronavirus. I'm allowing that separation and differentiation that I've held in a belief system to transform into a wholeness, into the greater field of love, knowing that all of those differentiations, all of those separations that I've based my actions and my feelings and everything upon are fixed, when in fact in the resonant field there is no fixation. It is a continually flowing stream. It is the tide that moves beyond the boundaries and nurtures all of us and nurtures me to become more in the continuous, ever-present flow of the source that feeds everything, rather than breaking it down into something that I'm afraid to let go of. And oh my God, die to? It's disintegrating into the wholeness, into the flow. My prayer, I'd rather say prayer than die, is that any separation or differentiation I see in anything in my world moves from a static state to the dynamic state of increased frequency of love that will hold us all beyond any specific situation that we may be afraid of, stay away from, hurt others in order to protect ourselves. Let us know, let me know that one of the things I'm dying to is this isolation, this separation, this physical separation that I'm experiencing now in my home is giving me a tremendous freedom to open to areas of being that were filled up with extemporaneous separations that I developed into belief systems that I held. I'm cherishing the experience of being with all of you and the others that are sharing this great exploration into the flow of life that was filled up with other things. And so I share the love in my heart, and for all of those that are in trouble right now, as well as those that have the opportunity to allow whatever needs to die within us in order to become whole for the good of the whole. And I'm complete.
My prayer is to continuously die into greater and greater flows of a fluidity of being. It is in the fluid waters that I am indeed the freest and most deeply connected to whatever my senses are in fascination with. And those moments were to let go of even the senses, to let go, as Nahid was saying, to die to the known, to simply open to the fluid waters of creation. And this ability to, in that flow, I mean, to rise up to the skies, the light, the air, and to plummet down into the depths of the earth, into the bowels of the mother herself. Oh. And to get fired up with firing what needs to burn and what needs to be fired up. And this etheric void of dying every day. And that forever seed percolating in joy in the eternity of it all.
Good morning, everyone. This is June from California. And what I really want to let go is the illusion of separation. It's been quite an experience of moving in and being at home, totally separate from other human beings in the sense of touch and smell and awareness, except for my husband, because we are here together, thank goodness. But what I'm really realizing is how important touch, how important looking into someone's eyes, how just letting in the feelings of someone else that's around you is. And I have a large family, and it's so strange not to have, complete contact with them. And so I suggested that maybe we have a family Zoom meeting. And just within hours, we had 25 of us on Zoom, sharing what for each one of us this meant. And what was amazing is I didn't hear any complaints. It was all about the experience. It was about what they realized they were wanting in terms of this connection and this time when so much is going to have to be altered and given up. We have weddings, we have graduations, we have so many family type celebrations of life that are not going to take place because they're all within the next probably 6 weeks to 8 weeks. But again, as I said, I did not hear a complaint. I heard a statement. I heard a sense of, oh my goodness, I'm going to not have this experience with my daughter who's getting married. But there was such complete connection. And so in my wanting to let go of separation, I discovered, one more time, which thank God, having a large family teaches you so much about what it means to touch someone else in ways other than your hands on their body or your presence within a few inches. We touched each other yesterday in ways that we probably haven't in so long. And so I'm just wanting to stay in that place, that place where no matter where I am, I can feel them. Wherever I am, I can hear them in my heart, heart first, and then it comes in to my head. But at the same time, I'm going through having to sift through every single thing in my home because we're letting go of so much and moving around so much. And so it's like I've been, I'm having to separate from my past all the things that I have felt that are so important, and really getting a sense of what does it mean just to be with and not have to have things to remind me of it, but instead just the heart connection of being with someone and not possibly being able to be separate from them. So this is just a really interesting and beautiful time to really discover I can't be separate. That's all in my head. It's not real. And so just as we're all together here and not separate. And so I thank you for being here with me and for our deep, deep love and heart connection. And I'm complete.
Good morning, everybody. It's Nancy from California. Been feeling quiet this morning and resonating with everybody sharing in so many ways. Just thinking about all the things that I have that help me feel connected, as was just expressed. I mean, I have a pod at the end of my driveway full of my mother's things from my childhood home of 68 years, and grandmother connections and pictures and things, and they do help me feel connected. And I'm so grateful that I'm kind of sequestered in my home that feels like a retreat, and I don't feel disconnected. This is just, it's very important to me to have this connection with all of you. And I just feel so blessed to be part of this. And that, for example, we've been using Zoom for years. And now we have a way to help other people connect. I just didn't think of that until this call today. What an amazing thing. I mean, I've been introducing people to Zoom from other places in my life that aren't particularly these kinds of connections, but they're like my networking group, my business networking group that had to close because of the restaurant. So I just invited everybody to a Zoom, and we had an amazing connection. And so it's so interesting that we're ahead of the game and we're trendsetters with this technology, and the beauty of allowing us to help connect people. I was just thinking about, I don't have a big family, and I never even thought about doing a Zoom with my family. That's so wonderful. But I have extended family in so many circles in my life. And it's interesting how many people don't know this technology. And there's just somehow we all know how to put the love into whoever we're gathering together through this technology. And I'm just grateful for that. And I just wanted to say hello this morning. I'm feeling kind of fragile and melancholy and odd. And but there is a place in me that knows that love is behind it all, and the beauty, if we're looking for the good in everything, this group is really helping me and reminding me to see that. So thank you all today for your connection and for your reminders, and I'm sending love out through the Zoom. I'm zooming love to you all. Thank you.
This is Shelley. I'm going to just pop in for a minute, and because we have a lot of people on this call that haven't shared, usually towards the end of the call, for those people that are new, we open it up to those that haven't shared and those that have spoken. We just be in that beautiful liminal space, that silence, while we're holding the field for you to come on. So this is the time towards the end of our call where we're cycling, and we open it up to those who haven't shared. So please feel free to take yourselves off mute and just say hi, or just allow that continual flow of love that's been expressed here to continue in whatever way it would like to. So with that, I'm complete, and we open it up to those that haven't shared.
Hi, this is Anita from London, and I don't know what to say in relation to what today's topic was, because I didn't actually read about it, and I was struggling to hear what Nahid was saying. But I do think it's amazing times. Where we live is where all the planes come flying over us every second minute, and it's so quiet, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying the peace. And then there's the aspect of being separated from the family in Denmark, but like everyone else, we're separated anyway, and we're not. We're so connected, and we always have been. And I completely love that this really, truly is our chance for awakening and connecting and looking after everybody. I'm complete.
Hi, everybody. Rose. This is Linda in Indiana, and I'd like to follow that thread of gratitude. Just being in a place of gratitude. Can you hear me okay? There's an echo. That we are all healthy, that we're here together, and that we have the means to have this technology, and the silence, appreciating the silence that's coming from the world closing down its normal busyness, So I just wanted to take a minute to breathe with, sorry, it sounds like an echo to me, but just to breathe in gratitude and let go, to let that part die that takes anything for granted, so that we deepen appreciation and respect for life, and to understand the love that is on the other side of this pandemic. Not just on the other side, the love that is present on this side, right here, right now, for all of the people who are in service to those who are sick. Just sending extra gratitude and prayers for the nurses and the doctors and everyone who is really giving and loving without expectation of anything in return to help others. So our connection is stronger because of this. And it is our new normal. And I pray that we ride the wave of this new normal and remember what's most valuable in our lives and on the life of this precious planet. And I am grateful that this pandemic, the silver lining is that we are connecting more and that we are perhaps appreciating everything more than we did before. So in great love, I am complete.
So just checking to see if anyone else who hasn't shared wants to jump in. Taking a breath.
Hi, it's Deborah in Tucson. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Deb.
Okay, thanks. I've just been on a very, what I call my death, pain, and suffering trip to Colorado, way before all of this, not way before, simultaneous with all of this happening. And I have been feeling like I'm walking in a minefield. And the past week since the equinox, I have done a great deal of ceremony, both online. It's amazing to do despacho with Peruvian shaman for 2 hours online, and as well as in person. And I find that right now, I just have to finally give myself full permission to stop. With all of my best intentions still, but that is what is. And so grateful to be here. Thank you so much. I am complete.
Thank you. So as we cycle, I want to share just a quick story, and then we'll all connect our hands together, which is a beautiful application of Zoom that was brought forward in this call. But I want to share a story which is really interesting, where I've been with my mom, who actually has been dying, who has been transitioning for weeks. I mean, and thought 3 days more and that was it. And all of a sudden has made this really wild comeback. But the most fascinating thing to me was when she finally accepted this death, you know, her transition, you know, like a week ago, everything became incredibly softened. Everything became, she became this level of innocence started to appear that I'd never really seen in her. And this joy and this giggling that I was just like completely blown away. And a few days ago, 2 days ago, all of a sudden, you know, through a steroid, all of a sudden she became Superwoman. And what I watched, what I got to experience was watching that ego come flying back in, and that control freak and that, you know, intensity of telling people what to do and don't tell me this. And I was just, I've been floored and actually kind of dumbstruck by it and didn't even know what to do with it. And the television's going 24/7 and it's loud and I'm like, whoa, okay. And so it's, you know, in thinking about this die before dying and this sense of surrender to the whole and surrendering to the truth of who we be, you know, this, I mean, I don't even know what I'm saying here, but it's just, it's kind of like the gratitude for seeing that and the gratitude for seeing it in me and my edges. And so, you know, we have this incredible opportunity as a collective consciousness to, like has been shared this morning, just really allow these waters of love, the power of love, the power of our presence to enable us through feeling the sense of mutual support and guidance, which we do have on this call, and which for those of you on the Wednesday call, this is what we're fostering. This place of wholeness, this ethos of wholeness, where we can come together and activate from this presence, this place of love, where we can let go of those edges, you know, and that beautiful sense of joy and of innocence and this vibrational frequency, what we call the home frequency here. This is heart resonance. This is the essence and of who we be. And this is the mother's voice. This is, you know, walking around by the water and saying everything stopped. Well, she's restoring herself. I thought this morning on the beach, you know, as I'm thinking about not being able to go on the beach, except this little spit that I found, wow, she has time to restore herself, right? That's what we're hearing. And so to really open to that. And we invite you on the Wednesday call. Please come join us and support. We have actually something really beautiful that we're going to begin, I believe, next week. And it's really an opportunity. It's kind of like part of the Global Love-a-thon where we can together come and hold the frequency of the listening field, the connection field. And we're going to open up a call where people can come on, your friends, your family, and really feel into this frequency of love. And as mentoring stewards, we invite you to participate and invite people. So you'll be hearing more about that coming forward this Wednesday. And so with that, I just want to really thank everyone for this beautiful presencing and purity of the waters. This is the pure waters of our love and our loving hearts coming together. So with that, what was started, and no, you know what, maybe I wasn't on the call, but I did watch the replay. So this is the invitation to put your hands up on the screen, to feel that connection with each other here. And we can take yourself off mute and we'll close. But yeah, keep this open. So we're just holding each other. And for those of you who love the yum, you can do the yum. And we'll just send this frequency out to our families and friends, community, and the planet, and Mama Gaia herself. So yum, 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 yum. Bless you all. Thank you. Thank you so much.